What is up, boys? We have returned for another episode. We are trying to continue the 6.0 build today, and my goal today is it's after work, it's in the evening, I got a couple hours. What we're gonna try to do is lube up the cam bearings. I'm gonna do a light little scuff on one of them with some Scotch-Brite and see what happens. If that doesn't seem to really be lucrative, I'm just gonna lube it up, lube the cam up, and we're gonna slap the new cam in, send it, put the timing set on, get the oil pump on. When I got the oil pan to try to like temp it on, I realized that the windage tray, when I bolted it down, I think the windage tray is like a little bit too far back, so it's like hitting and it won't let the oil pan seat in the back. So I gotta loosen the windage tray back up, scoot it forward, but that's okay because we're putting the oil pump on. We got to get the pickup tube in there and all that. My goal for the end of today is to have the cam in, timing set in, oil pump in, and have the front rear cover and the valley cover, put the new knock sensor gaskets in, and get the oil pan on and get them all on and sealed up, so that next time all we got left to do is drop the lifters in, put the heads on, and then we're really close. So before I forget, I never told y'all what color I was gonna paint it, and let me do a little B-roll right quick. Alright, here we go, guys. I cleaned it up. There's a couple spots where there was some like super light like surface, I don't even want to call it surface rust, there's just some stuff built up. So ran it over with some WD-40 and Scotch-Brite. She's good as new. So we're gonna goop her up and see if we can't get her to go home today. Guys, always remember, it is very important to lube your shaft. Always make sure to thoroughly lubricate your shaft. If you care about living a really long time, you should probably wear gloves when you do this. But as for me, I think we're all right. Okay, we're going in nice, no drag. Spinning nice. Not getting drug up anywhere. So that's cool. That's real neat. Alright, last one. Okay. We're home. I'm going to put a couple bolts in that and spin it a few times. Make sure that we are spinning good. Alright, it's pretty nice, pretty smooth. It's not catching. I don't feel any like grittiness or anything. It's a little, I don't want to say stiff, but like it's probably the assembly lube, because that stuff's like molasses. It's super thick. So that's probably my resistance there, but as you can see, we're going back and forth smooth. So I think we're good. So now I'm gonna get my hands cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll get our cam retainer plate on here, get that torqued down, get our timing set on, oil pump, yada yada. Let me get cleaned up and get set up. We're gonna get our cam retainer plate on here first. I strongly suggest that you always replace your cam retainer plate, because this seal here is a critical point of your oil pressure. If this seal leaks at all and bypasses any oil between these two passages here, you're gonna have a weird oil pressure issue, or none at all, you know, and you're gonna be chasing that down for a hot minute trying to figure out what's going on. And it's this rinky-dink seal, and you got to tear your whole front of your motor back apart to get back to it, and that's just not ideal. So I've got brand new bolts here. These are GM part numbers. You got to be careful. There's some of these cam retainer plates that aren't countersunk. So if you get one that's like a factory style that's countersunk, you have to get countersunk hardware to ensure proper clampage. Alright, we've got them all snug. And these go down to 18 foot-pounds. We're still at the 18 foot-pound group. A lot of this engine is 18 foot-pounds, like a lot of your covers, your front and rear cover, your valley cover. And we're just gonna do one more check. All right, so now we're gonna get our cam sprocket on and our timing chain. It's just a regular old LS2 factory style. I guess the difference between like a LQ4 and a LQ9, or is when they did the LQ9, they updated to the LS2 style chain in the LQ9s. So just your standard upgrade for an LQ4 is to get a an LS2 timing chain. We got to make sure our dots are lined up. This razor blade here is pretty straight. So yeah, we're good. We're on the right tooth. I've got my ARP bolts. I already put the ARP assembly lube on ARP's website. They say that you can use any thread locker as a substitute. I just happen to have this for the head bolts, because I have an ARP head bolt set, so I just went ahead and opened it up. So there we go. Run them boys down on there. Just get them nice and snug. And ARP calls out that they want you to do 25 foot-pounds. So let me adjust my torque wrench. There we go. And we should be able to get 25 without moving the crank. There we go. Okay, and we're going to do a double check. Alright. There's that. Just kind of shimmy it on there. We'll get our bolts started. So per Melling, I know a lot of guys say to take this cover off, put the shims in, and do that to center the oil pump. But what I'm gonna do is what Melling wants you to do. And Melling tells you to have these finger tight. So we're gonna double check that that's what we got. So I might be a little tighter than that. Okay, that's snug, snug. Okay, Melling says for you to put your crank bolt in and turn the engine over at least once, and with these finger tight, as you turn the engine, it'll center the pump up itself. That's what they say. And they are the people that build this stuff, so they got to have some kind of a clue, right? So we're gonna turn the engine over. Supposedly that will center the pump up. About one more time, and I'm gonna come back down here to top dead center. Should be right about there. And then we'll torque those down. The oil pump bolts are 18 foot-pounds. Alright. So there's that. We got our oil pump on. Timing chain. So cams in, cam retainer plates on, torque down. We got our new timing chain, cam sprocket on. We torqued these to 25. We got our oil pump, turned the engine over a couple times, got that centered up, and then got our 4 oil pump bolts tightened up. And now I'm gonna roll her over and we'll get the pickup tube bolted down and fix the windage tray. How I said it was a little bit too far back. We'll get that addressed. Get the pickup tube on there and then see if we can't finish out with getting some covers on. So in adjusting it, I went to put the oil pickup tube on and we were interfering like right here on this edge on this side that I had left. So I just went ahead and cut that whole side off. I could have cut this side off too, but I just went ahead and left it. There's no problem with it. So I'm gonna get this windage tray bolted down again, and then we'll get our pickup tube on there and see what we got. All right, so now we got our windage tray bolted down. We got our O-ring. I got my dial caliper out, measured the diameter here. Melling calls out, they've got a good instruction sheet that comes with the pump. I'm not gonna explain it, read it. I made my decision on what O-ring I'm gonna use. I am gonna put a little bit of lube on it. Just so happened to have some oil sitting right there. So we're gonna use some oil. Okay. All right, we're lubed up. I'm gonna try to get pushed on there. And that thing is just not wanting to go home. There we go. Alright. Alright, looks like 2 little Allen head screws came with it, but that's cool because I have 2 screws instead of your regular 1, so that's nice. I like that. I'm gonna go find this Allen socket right quick and then we'll get that zipped down. Alright, so it looks like we're 5mm on an Allen. I think I'm going to put a little bit of this ARP lube on this. Gotta be careful with this one. Be pretty easy to drop. That would not be ideal. I think I'm going to go ahead and torque this down to the pump before I torque that down, because that's just a flimsy little bracket. So if I get this torqued and it's just a little off, when I run that nut down, it'll bend the way it needs to. Socket was trying to strip, so we'll get in here with this. I got those tight. I don't want to strip them, but I want them to, you know, I don't want them to back off. Yeah, they're tight. Okay. So we got those two torqued down. Now we're gonna run this down. Nice and snug. Good. Alright guys, well, hopefully we can trust China and their slightly out of round oil pickup tube hole. Whew, alright. So I just got through dealing with I don't know what made me do it, but I just kind of like set the oil pan on there and it would not sit down the way it was supposed to. So I literally just had to go through like a bunch of clearancing like on the back side of it right here. It was rubbing on these bolt studs. It was like rubbing on that, and the windage tray is as far forward as it can go. It wasn't rubbing on the windage tray, it was rubbing on like the flange on the nut. So I just kind of got the grinder and like grinded the back side of the pan and smoothed it out, got it all straight. And then I forgot to pick the camera up because I was so irritated at burning an hour and a half on that I forgot to show y'all that I pulled my oil galley plug out. This is the new ICT Billet one in here. It was a turd, but I just ran a drywall screw in there, ran it right down the middle of it, and then grabbed some pliers and pulled it out. And it got kind of janky right here on the stand, but then you get your new one. The ICT Billet one has O-rings on both sides, the front and the back side. So you just make sure that you have the side with the threads out. That way, if you ever need to take it out again or change the O-rings, or you have an issue or something, you can just thread a bolt into that and pull that out. So yeah, ICT did us all a big favor there. But anyways, I am at my deadline on time for tonight, and I did not want to walk away from the engine without the covers on it. So I think what I'm going to do is just try to hustle and get the front cover on. See how that goes. If that goes smooth, then we'll whip the rear cover on real quick, and then I'll probably just set the oil pan on top of it for now, and we'll do that another day when I have more time. But yeah, the other camera is tripping out. It's having some software issues. It says it has an update, but it's like tripping out on recording. So hopefully, I've had it on this tripod this whole time, and I won't know until I edit, but hopefully all that footage is not trash, because it was like, it's doing some weird stuff, GoPro things. But anyways, let me get y'all set up with this camera on this, and let's get this front cover on real quick like. Alright, so I am fresh out of brake cleaner right now, which may be a good reason to stop, and I'm fresh out of rags too, conveniently, but she's looking pretty good. I think I had already scraped this and buzzed it a little bit, so I think I'm good. Alright, so this gasket's really cool. It has the rubber in the middle, so it'll hold the screws, so you can punch a couple screws through to assist you in getting this thing lined up. So let's get some threads going. Alright, so a big thing is making sure that you're flush across here. I don't have a straight edge out at the moment, but I'm just gonna get it pretty close, and then I'm gonna finger tight it, and then I'll grab my straight edge, and then we'll kind of zip it down. Get the there's a little bit of the gasket sticking up right here, so I'm gonna get that trimmed with the razor, and then get my straight edge, and we'll get her straight. So we're good on that side. Looks like we need to come down just a hair on this side. Okay, double check this side, make sure it didn't change. Looks good to me. Yep, that worked. Alright, just trim this little bit of gasket off right there. Got a little bit over here. Alright. Let's bump that up just a little bit. Alright, there we go. We're gonna clean this snout up just a little bit before we chunk her on there, so hang on just a second. Alright, so I just have it kind of set up here, cleaned up the outside where the seal rides. I got this slick little Amazon, I think it was like $13. I got the one without the roller bearing, but yeah, and it's got the little hex on the side, so if you have to, you can hold it, pull it back. But we'll get that on down on in there. I'm probably gonna go ahead and put some anti-seize on that. All right, got a little anti-seize on there, so let's run that in. Threading in good. Threading in real super nice. Oh, it's not 10. How about 11? There we go. 11 millimeter. Okay, so we have that bottomed out. Now we got to run this down, and I'm not 100% confident how that's going to go. Got a little extension. Now we got to be careful and make sure she's going on straight, which looks like she's trying to. Trying to turn the engine over now. I don't have one of those holder tools. I don't have a way to hold it. I think I'm gonna break the law and get the impact out. I know this is frowned upon, but if you don't have a way to hold the crank, it's a good way to outrun the speed, you know what I'm saying? And I'm watching it here, we're making sure it's going in smooth, which it is. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on it while it goes in and go and see what we got. Probably bottoming out on the socket here, so, and we've got it a pretty good distance down, so let's back this out. Ooh, she got tight. That's all right. Okay, back this up just a little bit. See if that helps. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So that worked pretty good. Nice and clean. Didn't burn any threads up. That's very good. We like that. Alright, so we've got our new crank bolt. And you can see we don't have a whole lot of lip left, so we're close. We're almost there. Run that in, make sure that's still, that's actually 24. Yeah. All right. Alright, so I actually had an extra bolt, so I backed that out and made sure that we have gotten deep enough, which we have. Let's get that started real smooth. There we go. And we're in there. Let's send it home. Alright, so now that we got the balancer on, torqued to 82 ugga-duggas, because I don't have the crank holder tool, and I ugga-duggaed the last one and it worked just fine. So that's the method I use. If you want to torque it, you can torque it. That is your prerogative. All right, yeah. I just kind of wanted to double check that that didn't change. You know, from putting the balancer on. Let's give these some clickers. And those will get 18 foot-pounds. There's 18. All right. So yeah, we got it on. I don't know why it just feels like a lip. Oh, it looks flush. All right. I'm just feeling that little edge of sealant weird or something. All right, that's definitely going to be it for today. We are going to put our oil pan on. And we're just going to leave it sitting. That'll keep her safe enough for now. All right. Not looking too bad. Be nice to have a shiny, nice new balancer, but meh, it'll be all right for now. That's something we can always change later, and it's not a huge deal to change. One thing I have been reading, because a lot of this insert's different, and you got to get some weird oddball filter for it to work. But I read that you just unthread this one out of the stock pan, and that way stock wicks, whatever, I'll use wicks, whatever brand you use, that way your stock style filter will thread right onto here, because I guess this is some goofy thread that you got to use some weird like Mobile One and some other weird brand filters for. So we'll switch that over another time. And then definitely on the next one, next time I get some time to come out here, we'll get the rear cover on, get the pan bolted down, and then we will be ready to flip it over and see about getting these heads on there, which I am super duper stoked to get that put back together, get them on there. But yeah, that's it for this one. Sorry if the video kind of sucked. I was kind of hurrying because, you know, I hate not being in the house and Ash don't really like it too much when I'm out here for an entire night because I work all day, then I'm out here and I don't spend any time with them. So I was just trying to hurry and speed through it. So if the video kind of sucked, let me know and I will do what I can to improve next time. But other than that, we got a good bit accomplished. We're definitely a good way on the road to reassembly. We got the guts dealt with, got the cam swapped, new timing set on, oil pump, all that. So we still got a lot accomplished. And yeah, we got quite a little bit of work left to do. More and more I'm leaning to putting this fender back together and just dealing with it for now, because I just want to drive this thing and put some miles on it before it gets to be winter time. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, it is late. I need to go to bed so that I can get up in a few hours and go to work. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out, be human, and we will see you on the next one.